been a while since I did a live stream about talking about. The theme is let's talk about important dealing with changes, whatever that means. So let's talk about some of that stuff. I do believe that most of us are going through changes in our lives, and that pretty much happens constantly. If you really look at it, if you compare, let's say yearly, you take 2024, 2025. Well, do you remember yourself how and where you were last year at the same period, and now? How much did it change? At least my life looks pretty much this way. And yeah, let's talk about it. How do we deal with that? I'm talking both positive and negative changes. Things can happen in life, they definitely do. I do believe that for the life, for the universe, there's no such concept as good or bad events. It's more just like things happen. There are certain chains of reaction, there are certain events just linked with each other, and they just happen, right? And how do you feel when things change? Hello. Hi, Drizzy. Yeah, Mira Fight Week, let's go. Yes, that's absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about MMA as well. I've been a little bit distant from everything this period. I'm waiting for my US visa appointment for B1, B2. That's one of the big changes that is happening in my life. And yeah, just one of those reset periods. After that, gonna go to the countryside of Georgia, which I'm gonna show you and do some live streams, gonna do some videos. Quite excited about that one. But definitely going to dedicate rather live during watching the fight or after Merab's fight, meaning. Love your braces, and you have a really soothing voice. Thank you, I appreciate it. But if you do 5 push-ups, I donate you $5. I can do 5 push-ups for sure. Once I lost a bet here in the live stream, and I had to do 50 push-ups. Obviously, I broke down them like 10 at the time. I think I did 20 in a row, and then got a rest and do 10 extra on each set. But anyways, right now I'm just drinking my milk tea. I appreciate it, but I'm not gonna do anything right now. But yeah, anyways, I want to keep it more to the topic today. Like, I want to know your opinion. How does changes in the life, just things changing, affect you? Thinking how to do the poll. I mean, I know how to do the poll, but I'm thinking how to ask the question so you can engage too, and we can possibly figure out some of the stuff. You know, how to deal with things in the best possible way. Where is training? Well, some people who watch me for a while, especially in the Vietnam period, they actually see that I had both live streams, training, and talking about some of the stuff like confidence, why failing at things is important for learning, this and that. So I decided to come back with one of those type of live streams. Okay. Well, what do you think about the poll? It's a little bit vague question, like asking, do you like changes? Or you prefer to be stable? I do believe that human nature is wired the way that we crave for stability. So a lot of people are getting quite overwhelmed with if things start getting changed. a Russian, you have some Slavic accent. I'm partially Slavic, but I'm Georgian. I'm coming from Georgia, the country. And yeah, I'm a little bit of a mix of both. Okay. Blondes and blades. Here, that's my friend, South African friend, Chanel. She's great. And I miss you very much and hope to come back to Southeast Asia in near future. And you can do my hair color again. Anyways, she says, I think it depends on the change you're experiencing. Some changes cause my childhood wounds to show, and some changes make me excited. Well, that's a very good point. Let's talk about that. Yeah, absolutely. Depending what it does trigger or it doesn't trigger, some changes they kind of reform us in a positive way. That can be a little bit overwhelming at times because, as I said, I think human beings tend to they tend to crave stability to a certain extent. Like if you have a drastic changes in life that drops you into a fight and flight response, but at the same time there are specific situations and specific changes that happen that definitely can dig out all the childhood traumas, and that is usually not very good, but gotta deal with it, whatever it is. Why do you have braces? Because my teeth were not good, and hopefully I'm gonna take off those braces within a couple months. I like changes. Okay, well, tell us about how it is. Like, I would love to hear more of the experiences from you guys. I miss you too. Yay, I miss you. I really do. We're gonna have to, we need to do a coffee date with the Zoom call or a WhatsApp call or something. British accent. Is this a British accent? I don't think so. How are you? I'm good. I'm very chill. Just relaxing. But generally I'm good. Okay, what if a boxer only throws jab? Will he be perfect at throwing the jab? 100 times. You definitely need to practice those basics repetitively. So jab is one of the fundamentals, like jabbing. And this is what we've been doing quite a lot. And I don't know how it's in the other schools. In the Georgian school, they would put us and we would work a lot on jabs, multiple jabs, then occasional throwing across, and then kind of working on everything else. But yeah, it makes sense to break it down. Though if you just do jabbing, and even if it's perfect, it's not an exhibitional sport. It is, I mean, boxing matches can be exhibitional, but you know what I mean. A real boxing match is like it's basically fighting, a fist fighting. So even if you master the movement perfectly, it's getting distorted within a fight. You know what I mean? So it's not like dancing. If you practice a contemporary dance, a ballet, you can reach those, like, there are those like a perfect, the standards that help you to reach the perfection. Well, with boxing or any martial arts, it's not exactly the same. No matter how much you practice that movement, if you don't put it in practice, if you don't let it get distorted and become effective, it doesn't really make sense. I didn't know you were a boxer. Because I do different live streams, and I understand that people might get confused sometimes with what I'm doing. Good evening, where are you from? I'm from Georgia, but not the state. It's daytime, as you can see, it's the natural light coming in. So it's Georgia, Tbilisi, and if it's nighttime, I assume that it is from overseas. What about the flicker jab, bit advanced than normal jab? I do believe you gotta practice all of the jabs because within the stance, throwing jab, the ability to do that in different forms and use that front hand to do different things is way more practical. It does work rather than just throwing I don't know, like just a regular jab all the time. It's also about the timing. You don't do like one, one. You don't do it that way. You gotta break your opponent's pace by changing your own pace. And yeah, I'm for impro. I'm all for trying to come up with the things. And well, if it's good with rules, just try it out. Hello from Durban, South Africa. That's cool. My favorite YouTuber from Georgia is Gatso. I don't know exactly who's that. There are quite some Georgian YouTubers that are coming up now, and I think that's very good. You gotta check those. There are two guys. They're Georgians and they're artists, and their channel is called Jadokar. And for every Georgian, Jadokar is like a magician. So when I found it as Jadokar, like what is this? It's definitely Georgian. Apparently they are Georgians, and they have super cool artwork. They make it like they make a cool voiceover, stuff like that. So you just check it out. You will like it. It's super entertaining. Have you watched the Fighting Spirit anime? No, I have not watched it fully. Just some pieces. If you master both a normal jab or a flicker jab, the boxer who practices it 400 times, he will be unpredictable towards his opponents. Yeah, I mean, practice is great and has its own place, right? It helps you. The more you practice, the more it becomes a pattern, right? It becomes almost like an instinct. So instinctually, for example, when the punch comes to you, you would do this, try to shield yourself. If you practice jabbing, if you practice not only back but in the sparring, you learn how to react with counter, and then you practice some other way how to jab, and then you jab to the stomach, and then you add some front hooks. So the more you practice those movements and different movements, not only the single one, the more set of skill set you develop to respond to the opponent, and that makes you more unpredictable. But it's not only practicing, like practice is a big part of it, but it has to be put in context. Hello? Okay, good to see you guys. Only two goated Georgians are Ilia Topuria and Alexandre Topuria. Alexandre has a second fight soon coming up, as I know. And well, Alexandre's older brother, he's being he put his career kind of aside to look after Ilia, and I think they're great athlete brothers. So I hope to see him shining too. He's just a year older, so he's supposed to be at his prime as well. But yeah, don't forget Mirab. Mirab is a bantamweight champion. There are other Georgians in other fields. And then it becomes automatic. Yes, speaking of jabs or anything, what you do, that's you practice as many times, create a pattern, and your brain kind of reacts quick. it's like a chess game. I mean, again, if you don't know how to play chess and you know only how to do the moves, you gotta have to, just sit and kind of try to build it up. When you're an experienced chess player, you already practiced certain build-up combinations and strategies. You played it many times through, and it becomes like a pattern. Can you spell that YouTube channel? So Jadokar, you mean? Okay, so it's Jadokar, and I think it's second R, so it's double R. I would like to movies, but they don't let bring on snacks. And appreciate, guys, but I'm married. The corkscrew heartbreaker shot can paralyze the opponent if it's perfectly at an angle. I don't know why, but it reminded me the scene from the Kill Bill. This the last scene, so it's funny. Twist Marigold. I've been told that a couple times, but I think the top is Becky Lynch. That's what people tell me. Sometimes Scarlett Johansson. But anyways, guys, back to the topic. I'm trying to come up with a poll that asks the right question. Okay, well, start a poll. Let's see. How do changes make you feel? And guys, I'm saying not necessarily negative or positive, just a change. Just let's say something is happening, you have to move from the country, or you got this new job and you kind of took the risk. And you're quite excited, but at the same time, you're like, oh, leaving your familiar life behind and what's going to happen. So that kind of changes, okay? So, excited. So it's more like it can be a spectrum of the emotions, but which is more? So I will say like more excited, more overwhelmed, adoption, more confused. I think that's a good one. And more, like some people tend to be like, hell yeah, changes, great, new opportunities. So like more, how the word is, can I use conquering? More, well, excited can fall, but I'm meaning more like really looking forward to it. More like embracing. Okay, let's call it embracing. Okay, I think that should be. I'm starting the poll. Okay, here. All right. In the meantime, we have something going on in chat. Does MMA boxing work in boxing? It's not going to work on the elite level just because of different footwork. I would say the biggest difference is different footwork, and the upper layer, it's the frequency. Like in MMA, you noticed, yeah, sometimes they're like heavy exchanges, but usually it's very calculated, not wasting too much energy, because, well, you can end up in the ground, you can end up in the different positions. Sorry. But in boxing, the frequency, the intensity is increasing. So I would say the footwork. You cannot just, take an MMA boxing in that context against the very good, solid footwork, solid classic boxing style in the boxing rules. I don't see that being a good idea. Life must be easy when you're that pretty. I haven't been always that pretty. I was one of the kids that's, like I would say I have a glow up, having a glow up at this point in my life. Had my braces. I have a perm on my eyebrows because I barely have proper eyebrows at all. And yeah, just trying to stay fit, good diet, try to be not stress over stress as it's called, have a good sleep. So it's a combination of things, obviously genetics too, but as I said, I believe that there are many, well, if we talk about purely appearance, I think there are there are quite a lot of people that look better than me, and it's okay. But yeah, I do believe that it's possible for people to go through a general glow up. It sometimes takes a couple adjustments within the appearance. Usually it's related to the weight, some adjustments to your face and style. And it has to do a lot with the personality, with the knowledge, with the experience, education, the skill of learning, social, like a soft skills, social skills, being able to communicate with people, and all that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, that's my opinion on that one. It's the time in Georgia, because it's 7:02. Here it's like a 5:37 at this point. Okay, my coach, Mogi says, my coach made me practice jab and cross countless times, and when I was in the class, fighting came out like an instinct. Yes, and those two are the first things that you practice in boxing. That's true. Is it a Russian background? I mean, the wallpaper? No, it's Georgian. I don't like this wallpaper particularly. It's just an Airbnb. Even though I'm back in my home country, we're renting this place, so we were closer to the gym and stuff. And yeah, so at this point, waiting for my appointment to US for the B1, B2 visa, for the visitor's visa, and from that point, we'll plan everything else. So it's like a temporary place to stay. Do you have martial arts background other than boxing? A little bit of BJJ, that's it. And karate, actually. Yeah, I was doing Goju karate, but I did it like a year or year and a half at the most before boxing, before moving to the boxing. Alex or Ankalaev for UFC 320? That's quite an anticipated one. I'm not sure. I mean, Ankalaev is hungry for it. Pereira was the shell of himself last time. I just don't know how he is at this point. And when I say shell of himself, I mean he managed to do the takedown defenses, like all the 7 takedown defenses, though I think Ankalaev was not really going that hard for the ground. But on the striking, I mean, I think quite a lot of people were shocked that Pereira didn't do much. He was like almost looked like he didn't want to be there. If that changed somehow, if he reset that happened. I think Masvidal is quite a good example. Like, he was almost like a journeyman at some point. Then he went to the mountains, just kind of meditated, definitely reset his psychological state and physical state, and then he knocked out Ben Askren with the jumping knee. So you never know. His age is also at the point, it almost feels like maybe he achieved that good life and might not really be eager to fight that much anymore. That happens to athletes, I mean, no disrespect. So we'll see. I'm not sure about that one. I'm just telling you my opinion. I'm from Georgia. Beautiful accent, thank you. I'm from Georgia, the country. And what's your take on the baddest man on the planet, Tom Aspinall's boxing? I mean, Tom Aspinall is one of the very, very well-rounded fighters at a higher scale, not just good. I think he's quite great. And yeah, he's great. Wrestling plus boxing, well, good combo. Baddest man on planet is Jones, not Aspinall. If you ask me, the baddest man was Alexander Karelin. Wrestling fans gonna know who's that. The guy was unbelievable. He's still alive. I'm just saying, because an active career when he was competing. The girl from the Harry Potter. That's a new one. I lost X amount in gambling. Woohoo! What should I do? Well, reevaluate your life. It's quite a big waste. It's not that easy, but sometimes you gotta put yourself in a situation where you don't have an access to things to avoid those things. When it comes to the addiction, go to the country or the place where you simply cannot gamble. Well, there are a lot of speculations. I've been watching some MMA fans and some YouTubers making videos about those things. The White House card. Who do you expect? People say, okay, McGregor versus Chandler, but it's not big enough fight, so it might be a co-event. The main event, some people say, would make sense that it would be John versus Tom, which, I don't know, maybe that was all the hype before it. I don't know, can't tell you that. Wouldn't mind to see that fight though. Ilya versus Islam. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like American in the White House in the U.S. and it's Georgia versus Dagestan. I mean, it would be cool. It would be an honor for Georgia and Dagestan, I would say. But so I don't know. What's your opinion about that? Gans boxing is way better than Aspinall. Just Aspinall have more power. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking from a technical point of view, no, Gan is great too. I would go for Aspinall though, but it might be a very close fight. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up. Good morning from Charlotte, North Carolina. Doing what you enjoy? You're badass. I watch your videos all the time. Hard work pays off. Christopher, thank you. I appreciate it. It's very sweet of you. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Changes is not good, but they're essential. There has to be some changes in your life, otherwise you don't grow. But also it hasn't, I do believe, I agree with some people are very compulsive and they just pursue changes all the time. They just want to change, make their things, make their lives more exciting. But it doesn't work that way either. I mean, you gotta have to have a stable ground. It's normal to want it, and it's definitely a more sustainable way to live. But there are some essential changes in your life that is almost a call for you to transform, to become better, to become stronger, more intelligent, reevaluate certain things. So as much as it's good or bad, I can't argue about that. It's at times it's essential. There is why Jones, even John will fight him, but Dana said he won't put Jones in the card. Yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen what Dana said about it. But again, who knows? Might be a money thing. Maybe if they put all the essential contracts in the place, maybe for the profit sake, that could be done. I don't know. I have no idea. High fruit perception. McGregor is too far removed from competing. He needs a tune-up. Greetings. I agree with that. That's why I agree with that thought that people say he's not actual enough to be like a main event. That wouldn't be exciting at all. So as much as he's definitely going to be there, we're more like the question is which would be the main event. Then we have Nunes and Harrison, as Harrison being the only American UFC champion at this point. But again, don't get me wrong, that could be a co-main event, and I would love to watch that fight. But it's like a White House card. It has to be something like crazy. And when it comes to that, I think what would make the most sense would be Jones versus Aspinall. Finally, that fight is happening for whatever reason, and in the White House. And it could be like a Britain versus US. So it falls in the concept as well. Also, Tom is an actual heavyweight champion, so that would make sense. Who do you think about the rematch, Ankalaev and Pereira? I'm not sure how Pereira is going to be this time. If it's just he took it just for the money, or he's back. So we'll see. If he's the same as he used to be on the first fight, it's not going to be good. Dana changed his mind. Jon Jones will fight. That one makes the most sense when it comes to the entertainment, business, excitement, all of those things. I agree. Stability is important. It's essential. And again, it's like we should pursue stability. But at the same time, we shouldn't be fearful of changes, things that happen out of our control. Sometimes you got to submit and learn. I do believe in the concept of like a universe, not necessarily like a God as a person or identity, more like a big whole thing that guides us and gives us a certain tasks and purposes to pursue, and gives us circumstances to evolve. I do believe that. So that's why I always try to embrace changes in a way that if there's something that depends on me, I will always act. I would rather make my own decision, my own choice. But when I'm talking about events that is not in my control and they just happen, and all I can do is adapt and choose how to perceive it. So that's what I mean. June Jones left because he didn't want risk. This is once in a lifetime opportunity. Jones won't back out. Yeah, I mean, as I said, there could be also contracts put in. I mean, it's like a big thing. It wouldn't be only a trust thing. I would say I would make a contract, some sort of deal that if he backs out from that one, he has to pay, like financially, he has to compensate the damage. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Yeah, as I said, it's not about relying, it's about putting right contracts in place. And if he agrees for that, but again, that's a big opportunity for him. It is a big money, like huge money, at least for MMA world. And oh, I almost dropped the thing. 1 second, here. Well, I appreciate all the compliments, guys. Well, I'm already someone's wife here. He's in the other room doing the work, doing some crypto stuff, and yeah. Night marriage. Hi, Costa. Hey, my friend, you're still looking amazing. You should be really happy with your results. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to training and dieting, it's pretty good. It's pretty sustainable. When it comes to, getting to a competitive level, it's still a way to go there. We're going to go to the countryside for somewhere around the week after the appointment. So I'm going to try to go to that gym where I do some sparrings one more time before. And well, then we'll see how we plan the things out. But as I said, now I'm trying to have sparrings at least once in a week or once in 2 weeks. But I'm talking about like a real heavy sparrings. Basically, I wouldn't say call it a fight, but heavy sparring is when you go for each other. It just, the difference is you stop at the point. You don't try to really knock each other out, but you definitely pressure each other enough to really feel that pressure. So this is the sparring that I'm talking about. I already had two. Gonna try to have a third one before I leave, and take notes. That's what I do. I always try to take notes and learn from it. Look sharp as a sword. Thank you. How has the sparring been? I mean, well, I can tell you, it's been a while since I got hit in my face. We were wearing helmets, but it still was okay. It shakes you up, makes you a little bit feels a drunkish, drunkish feeling when you are after the sparring. But there were certain things that I like, that I'm more calculated, no rushing. And for pro boxing, that's kind of more of a thing. Yes, there are moments of the exchanges and brawling and getting exhausted. And it's fine, especially on the training. I think you should get there. But my purpose is more to play the chess. And yeah, it was definitely emotionally wise. I like the fact that I'm not very emotional at all. So I get hit, it's fine. I try to readjust. I do it again, then they get hit. And so far, because in that gym, those are competitive kids, but they're kids. They're like 15, 16, 17 years old. Some of them are 14. So they are all eager. They are a little bit having a hard time controlling their emotions. But I think it's a good training for them too, because for them, it's a little bit, they got to learn how to control their emotions. So far it's been good. And the coach also specifically putting someone with me that I like, that they can punch me hard, because the first time it was a 14-year-old boy my height, but he's a boy. He already hits harder than I do. And he was also technically like good technique and stuff. Then it was a girl. She's like 15, 16 years old, taller than me, longer reach. And yeah, she got quite emotional. She wanted to kick my ass for sure. But that's the thing. Even though I would get hit, let's say I was doing a lot of shielding and slipping the punches through and just waiting for the right moment, landing punches on the right moment that would like make her angry, confuse her. She would calm me. I would back off, then come on in again, punch back. So yeah, to me it was good. There was definitely some adjustments I gotta do. Instead of just backing off, you kind of back off, go on the defense, 2 steps back, and then you gotta get in a clinch because I need to get closer because of my height difference. I need to take any opportunity to get closer and leave like a 3-puncher combos, which also gonna put them in the pressure, but at the same time, like make them more careful. But at the same time, it's also points and a certain damage left, and it's using opponents' anger and that uncontrolled anger against themselves. So I definitely took some notes, and as I said, gonna try to do it one more time before we leave to the countryside for a week. Okay, your husband's very lucky. Thank you very much. Very strong jawline too. I appreciate. Thank you. How does it feel to know that 2 Georgian UFC champions, Merab and Topuria, are 2 of the most dominant champions we have right now? Quite refreshing. I think for a small country like Georgia, that was a great achievement on the, like when you're proud of being Georgian, because you can see the other great Georgians fulfilling their potential. The Georgians are usually very supportive of their fellow Georgians in their success, and kind of lays on our pride too that even though we didn't do anything, what they did, but it's kind of like, you see, it's Georgian blood. It's not particularly my opinion. It's a lot of Georgian think that way, that Georgian blood is special, and maybe sometimes it's a little bit of small nation complex, but it's fine. I don't think it's a bad thing to be proud of where you are, who you are, where you're from, and be proud of your country and fellow country people. Country name, Georgia, or in Georgian we say Sakartvelo. Do you have a street fight if you knuckle punch your opponent with your weak hand, immediate knockout? I mean, I don't support bare knuckle fights as a sport, I mean. And I'm a girl. Like, why would I have a street fight? Self-defense situation, I had it in school. Funny enough, it was a school, but I always gonna defend myself. do the best for it. Never happened in a street situation, fortunately. And well, I hope like the best self-defense in the street is avoid shady, weird places, avoid shady, weird people, and be environmentally cautious. Merab holds the record for the most takedowns, and he's still got time left in his career. Yeah, he does. He broke it. He broke GSP's record. I remember that. That was on the Umar versus Merab fight. I think Georgians and Mexicans have the most warrior spirit. I mean, again, when you say most, definitely we're the nation of the warriors, no doubt. But again, there are others too, and there's nothing wrong with that, I mean, you can be proud of your country without hating on others, I think. Where are you from? Sakartvelo, Tbilisi, Georgia. I will be going carnivore diet from tomorrow for 2 months. Gotta get shredded. I mean, if you're doing martial arts and combat sports and you need that explosivity, you need carbs as the primary fuel. I mean, you can go ketosis, but ketosis showed that it has an impact on the explosivity and performance when it comes to the explosivity. And, well, you know that you need that. So basically, you become a little bit more sluggish. Again, it might be good for certain sports, might not be very good for others. If you do that on the amateur level, if you do that temporary, maybe I would suggest you to track your calories, stick to the high protein, but you still gotta get some fiber that you need. You need to make sure that all the macros and micros are in place, so you have full nutrition in place. Carbs, moderate amount, the exact amount that you really need, that you can burn out. And then totally you just have to have a calorie deficit left that's gonna help you to basically get shredded. I'm just saying, I mean, usually keto and carnivore helps, especially if you do temporary, it helps because, again, your body drops into ketosis state. It still doesn't kill calorie, calorie impact. It changes it a little bit, but it's the main point is because when you eat high protein and fats, you kind of get more satiated as well. Your hunger levels, it helps the regulate inflammation, so your hunger levels drop. It also kind of goes well with the intermediate fasting at the same time. So, those two in the combination, you eat your meal and you somehow end up within the right calorie range, having that slight deficit, and your body does the rest of the thing. Because if you go, if you eat the amount of the food, even if it's a carnivore or keto, and if you go 6,000 calories when you have to do 3,000 calories, I'm just saying as an example, you're still going to have those 3,000 calorie surplus, right? So it doesn't work. It works because of the certain reasons that I mentioned, but it's still a key to know your calorie expenditure and be able to create even a small deficit. She looks kind of cool. Red Hat Kushina, like from Naruto's mother. That was my first anime. Oh, you are an athlete. Can you suggest any boxing learning channel on YouTube? Well, you can check mine. But if you really want a proper boxing learning channel, I mean Tony Jeffries, cool guy. I follow him myself, and I do love his breakdowns on the different fights. He teaches some stuff as well, and I think you should check that one out. Merab have a good potential, but the only thing supporting him is his age, because unlike divisions like light, heavy, and heavy weight, whereas experience is needed, but in the lighter weight class, speed is needed. Yes, that's true. Merab's strongest asset is his crazy endurance. So, yeah, I mean, as long as he can execute it, as long as he doesn't get tired himself, and obviously, there's always a risk of the knockout, but as long as he kind of prevents that from happening, he will be fine. I have subscribed to your channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. I cannot do calorie deficit and high protein at the same time in normal diet, so carnivore will help me get high protein and less calories, and while being simple diet, and I don't do MMA or anything. Okay, but a little bit, okay, if you take a protein, obviously there are different sources of protein, but let's take mine is chicken breast is like the most low calorie and high protein, comparatively speaking. Like, you know, if you put it in a proportion, well, if you want to get 100 grams of protein, which is, I mean, it's good enough for me. It might not be enough for you. It's not that much of the calories within, if you do that within a chicken breast. And generally, if you eat, if you combine it with some other sources of protein, protein is kind of relatively lower calorie, like it's normal volume, it's like a medium-sized volume, and not very high calorie comparing to if we measure like 100 grams, you know, it's not that bad. Obviously, if it gets more fatty, it's getting increased in the calories, but again, that's still, as long as you fit it in within your daily intake, it should be fine. But it really matters what you choose as your source. If you do like a balanced diet and with the high protein angle there, I basically do eggs and chicken breast, and it helps. What I would do if I do the omelet and if I make it more high protein, couple eggs, and the rest is just the egg whites and taking the egg yolks out. So it becomes even higher in calories, but it becomes bigger volume and it becomes lower in calories, but higher volume and higher in protein, right? Not like egg yolk. Egg yolk consists quite some protein on its own as well, but it's higher calorie. Like egg white is around 17 calories per an egg. So those are like little tricks that you can do and still eat carbs as an like addition. And obviously chicken breast like is one of the best sources for higher protein and lower calorie. But it's up to you. I mean, again, I'm not telling you what to do, just sharing my opinion regarding that. Then make sure you get some supplementation. You need some like especially vitamins, especially minerals that are usually you're getting quite a lot of them from the foods rich in fiber, plant-based foods. And since you're not doing that in the carnivore diet, at the point you're gonna do it, I would suggest you to supplement then. I believe Dia's brothers are vegan. Don't quote me on that though. Yeah, I don't know about that. Not 100% sure. But you don't have that many vegan, like top tier, the best athletes. Most of them eat meat. They eat other stuff too. They basically eat balanced diet, and you can do sometimes experiment or shift. Like I don't know, keto diet has shown some benefits for pre-diabetes, like insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes people. It really helps with that. So it really depends. At the same time, extremely high protein, high fatty diet like keto or carnivore is not recommended for people who have some issues with kidneys. Any type of issues, doesn't have to be kidney failure, but if there is something in the place, might not be the best idea to do it, if you know what I mean. As Kushina, I have completely different type of temper than Kushina Uzumaki. It's, I mean, she's a cool character, but I'm more like Minato. Very calm, very self-centered. Okay. Eggs are full of vitamins, yes, for sure, but especially the yolk part. That's why you don't want to necessarily take all of it. You can keep a couple egg yolks. I've done it every day. I walk around 7-8 kilometers, which includes 2 kilometers of incline walking. do cardio as well. I have lost around 3 kgs. Well, good for you. You increased your calorie expenditure, and that's great. But always remember, guys, you cannot out-train a bad diet. The reason why you're losing weight and cutting the burning fat is because you just created that calorie deficit even without trying. I gotta go. Much love from Charlotte, North Carolina. Safe travel to the US. Stay safe out. Thank you, Christopher. Have a great is it a day? It's morning. Yeah, have a great day. Okay, I'm all the way up in the chat. Someone says Khabib is overrated. Khabib is undefeated, and I actually could agree with both. And again, nothing against Khabib. I think he is great in his own way, for sure. But there are certain things, I mean, you gotta put records in the place. And there are different kind of measuring ways, different ways to measure a success and greatness of the fighters and the athletes. And I'll just leave it to you, you know. For example, your opponent's dossier, like their compound of wins against losses, and you know, who you fought and all that kind of stuff. How tall are you? I'm 161 centimeters. I'm not tall. I'm like 5'2" feet. Khabib never fought any good wrestlers. Well, one thing is, at that point, you cannot blame him for he had a certain competition and he dominated it. He did it fair and square. But at the same time, if Khabib was at this point in, like, even against Islam Makhachev, for example, I believe Islam would win. And someone says, I think someone told me once that Khabib would outstrike him. And really, have you seen Khabib's striking? Like, genuinely, have you seen it? Please go watch it if you don't. So I do believe that in the modern competition, Khabib wouldn't do that well. You speak after we have a Naruto fan here. Here, Minato, let's go. Maybe if I sound like a child something, but your name makes me think of Kushida. You got the name straight to the excites. Well, my name is Diana. So just nice to meet you guys. He would have got slimed by GSP or Camaro if he went for the double champ. Yeah, I don't know. We know that he retired because of after his father passed, and that was very hard on him. So I cannot blame him for not going for double championship because you know, he was scared. But yeah, we don't know that either. Khabib has inspired me. Because of him, I have started taking care of my body. And it's great. I think Khabib has some parts of his aspects of mentality and the things he say that deserves respect. Definitely has you know, personal discipline, if you know what I mean. But also there are certain things that I heard him saying that I completely disagreed with, and that's okay. How old are you? I'm 25 years old. 2'5". Seriously, you look really tall. I don't know. I mean, if you watch my videos, I don't think I really look tall. But now you cannot even say that. Islam have already way surpassed Khabib's legacy. I mean, yeah, pretty much. And I love that, well, he got knocked out in the earlier part of his career, and that didn't stop him from, you know, keep getting better and building that legacy. So Princess Diana from Georgia. What's your country famous for? Merab Dvalishvili and Ilia Topuria at this point. Before that, Joseph Stalin. I mean, jokes aside, football, Richa Kvaratskhelia, that's what comes to my mind. Khabib is one of my favorite fighters, but his fan base is toxic as AF. I mean, there are a lot of fan bases that are not. They're like an army who are ready to devour you for whatever you say. Khabib spoke his mind to Putin. That's brave. I have not seen that one. I've seen him actually up kind of saying that Putin. So, I mean, that's the thing. Georgians hate Putin, especially the ones who they lost someone in the war, in both 2008 and 1992-93 war. Georgians despise Russian government at this point. But our north neighbors, they're part of Russia, right? So Dagestan, Chechnya. Chechnya had 2 wars, pretty much genocide there too. But what can you say? It's very strict there at this point, and so it's hard to speak up because your life can get destroyed and your family's life can get destroyed. But I think that's one of the biggest disparity between Georgia, our part of Caucasus, and the north. As soon as the war broke out, Khabib was the first to speak against it. Oh, okay, that's brave. That's brave because they put people in jail because of that. So I don't know. He did get warning or he had to apologize. I'm not saying he did that. I'm just saying because it's very, very strict there. You just do a slight comment against the war, and you get a jail sentence. Okay. Stalin, Rasputin, Putin. Well, Stalin was Georgian. Rasputin and Putin, there are no records that they're having any Georgian roots. I'm from New Zealand. I'm a big Merab fan, so it makes sense. This girl is nice to me. Comments in Georgia as well. I try to be nice to everyone, especially the ones who are nice to me, so it's fine. Can you turn on the other light too, please? It's actually got darker. Yeah. I don't know if it's not good. Try another. Okay, that's better. I think that looks cozy at least. He was respectful from what I remember, not sure how strict. Okay. Anyways, I'm just saying, I know some people personally. There are a lot of Russians that came here after the mobilization was declared in Russia. And before that too, some people came in when the war started. And sometimes they had to go back, just to see family or do something. And I know couple Russian people that had to fly back to Russia, and they were just arrested immediately just because of their social media posts and stuff regarding the war and their political stances. So just saying that it's quite strict. Like me with my positions on that, I would not go to Russia anywhere in the near future. You know what I mean? Okay, well, let's see the poll. How do changes make you feel? We have more excited. 43% say, well, that's good. I think that's like you should be excited about the opportunity to go through a phase where you transform, and human beings, in terms to get evolved, we need to transform. Someone says 23% more overwhelmed. That is quite natural too, but it's important to learn how to deal with it. It's okay to be nervous, but you shouldn't let it take over you. More confused, 26% say. I mean, yeah, things can get confusing. In there, just take your time, try to take a deep breath, and take your time to navigate, to kind of put things in place. Okay, what is the reality? How do you navigate it? Come up with a plan. And more embracing, 8%, that was the least percentage. People say the more embracing of the new changes. I think it's a peaceful way. It's a very, how to say that? It's a very mature way to accept it, because things happen that are out of your control. And if you're embracing of it no matter what, because you know that you're going to navigate yourself through, and it's going to be good, I think that's a good way to look at it. Which city you're living? I'm right now I'm in Tbilisi, but me and my husband travel quite a lot, so we're just temporary here at this point. Just scrolling, and you see a gorgeous redhead live. Indeed, is beautiful. I mean, thank you. Okay, we have to be stupid sometimes. Yeah, why not? The people who try to be serious at all costs and, have that facade, remember, it's a facade. There's nothing wrong to be yourself. But at the same time, let's try not to make same stupid decisions, more than once. That's called learning. By the way, people who waste their time online are stupid. Yeah, I guess we all do stupid things, including you, me, and everyone else here. But putting that a little bit in the context, as long as you don't spend all of your life in it, and you have certain important things to do with your life, and you actually do something good in your life, it's okay. Can you do decline push-ups only to build arms? No other variation for you or anyone who can help? I mean, push-ups target your chest muscles, your pecs and your triceps, and it depends on the position. There are different positions. The wider you go, the more you target your chest, the closer you put your hands towards your body, that hits your triceps in that angle. And there are other variations as well, so you can try a few of them and see how it feels. Hope everything is well. Safe travels for you both. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm not single, I'm married. Appreciate it. Thank you for saying that. GDM beats Islam 5-10. He's training with Craig Jones. That's a good point. And letting you guys know, Volkanovski in his first fight countered Islam with wrestling, and that was because of his training with Craig Jones. I mean, I think Islam can win that fight, but I don't say that GDM cannot. So again, it doesn't seem like a very prediction, but I never do predictions. I'm not a mood monger. When I see a close fight, when I see both good fighters, I cannot just say, I just don't do that. Okay, so we'll see that fight. It's one of the fights I want to watch and see how it goes. Yeah, Street 20 is a banger this weekend. It is. It is. Looking forward to see it. Well, come on, man. Don't underestimate Islam's wrestling. Even his striking is as good as his wrestling or grappling. I agree with that. Looking forward to it, though. Good challenge for Islam. We will see. Yeah, he's also the one who came up in the weight, right? So it's the weight class. So we'll see how comfortable it's going to be in the welterweight. I know that he was struggling cutting to the lightweight. So I hope he's going to adapt well and going to perform at his best. Well, Islam's groundwork, his BJJ is not overrated at all. I think he's great. I think he has one of the best combined. I mean, obviously wrestling too, but he does a lot of BJJ stuff. He really does the proper groundwork. So, and you can look at his record. He's good only because he mixes up his striking and wrestling very well. Well, that's a point of mixed martial arts. So it's like it's the same thing. Ilya can be considered one of the best MMA boxers at this point, but does it mean that he would be able to compete against the Olympic boxers necessarily, or like a professional legit boxers? Not really. You know, like it's like if you compare Islam's wrestling to Olympic level wrestling wrestler who does only wrestling, that's a little bit different. It's kind of the same idea when you do that comparison, right? So I guess that's a point that indicates on his high MMA IQ. Are you Baltic? I'm a Georgian. From Caucasus, basically. We are original Caucasians. I don't know why that term established in the West that much, because they call Caucasian like a pale skinned, like a white people, like a Caucasian looking. First time I heard that, I was like, are they talking about like Georgian? Like what's that? What does it mean? But yeah, Caucasian. I mean, Caucasus Mountains. Here we go. Can be called Caucasian. I'm from Tbilisi. Come on, mate. Dagestani wrestling is on another level. He's wrestling his whole life. Look how he humbled black belts, made them look like purple. Yeah, I mean, Dagestani wrestling is one of the strongest one out there. I didn't say, I specifically didn't say anything against it. I'm just saying about if someone says, oh, Islam is just good because he mixes stance and wrestling well, that's a point of mixed martial arts. The better you do that, the better you are. So if you just take it purely wrestling and compare it to a wrestling athlete who purely does only wrestling, I do believe there are going to be others who can match him very well at wrestling. But if we're talking about MMA and all the aspects all put together, that indicates that he's one of the best fighters at this point. Yeah, but Georgian and Chechen wrestling is another level too. Yeah, I mean, this region, we're not that far at all. We're actually very, very close with each other. And I think that culture came in from longer than an actual sport was developed. There is even, there is Georgian type of, I would say martial arts, like it's Hridoli, it's Krioba. And if you see those, they're like, some of them are more in the stance and like a lot of drops. Some of them are like a pure wrestling on the sand and or on the soil. So it's I think it goes quite deeper in the culture. Hi from Spain. Hi. Okay, guys, I gotta go now. I have some work to do. Regarding the topic, I mean, guys, whatever changes happen in your life, just remember that everything's gonna be fine. You know, it's all about the perception. Sometimes things get harder. You cannot do anything about it at this point, but you gotta be patient and try to find the moment where you actually can do things. You can make some changes in your life, in your routine, and create a better outcome. So this is how I do believe it. Thank you very much for participating in the live stream. Within the next few days, I'm gonna show you beautiful Georgian countryside. I'm gonna make some videos about it, live stream out there. So I think you're gonna enjoy it. And yeah, so for now, I wish you all the best. Have a great day or great night wherever you are from. And I see you in the next live stream. Okay.